If you've ever looked in the mirror and wondered, how am I back here again? Well, I promise you're not alone. Today, I'm going to teach you 3 practical ways to come back into alignment with your weight loss goals, even if the holidays or life simply throws you off track. Maybe it started with a few skipped meals or a weekend that turned into a week of takeout. And then you tell yourself, I'll start fresh on Monday. But let's be real. Deep down, you are tired of trying to restart. I know you don't need more motivation, and you certainly don't need more rules. What you need is alignment to stop having to start over. And once you understand how alignment actually works, you're never going to have to start over ever again. So if you've been struggling with consistency, especially when life gets messy, in this video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to come back into alignment with your weight loss goals, even if you've drifted. I'm going to teach you 3 simple practices that help you feel empowered, decisive, and completely in control without guilt or restriction or having to start over ever again. So let's dive in. As a holistic nutritionist, I've heard the same struggles so many times, and that's why I'm creating today's video, because I don't want you to struggle with this anymore. So many women feel frustrated when they finally know what to do to help them lose weight, but that's no longer the issue. The issue is sticking with it. That's one of the biggest hangups there is when it comes to weight loss. They know what to do, they don't know how to do it consistently because life is busy, and I get it. So I used to struggle with this for so long too. So I get it. I have been there. And it wasn't until I was so done with having to start over on Monday or next week or next month, or sometimes I put it off until the next year. And I just was in this perpetual loop of starting over. And I was so frustrated. I felt like I was spinning my wheels and never getting the progress and the results I wanted, even though I knew what to do. And like I said, this is what I have seen come up time and time again with the amazing women that I work with. So let's save you from having to deal with that anymore. So tell me if this sounds familiar to you. You figure out a plan, what you're going to do to lose weight, and you start implementing it. And sure enough, you start to see some progress, some results. You start feeling a bit better. Maybe your clothes are fitting a bit looser. Maybe you have a bit more energy. And then life happens. Stress, hormones, family, holidays, and suddenly all the healthy habits, they disappear. And then you tell yourself, it's okay, I'll get back on track, but it feels harder every time. I remember this one moment so clearly. After the Thanksgiving feast, feeling like I'd absolutely blown all the progress I'd been working so hard on. And I was sitting there feeling so uncomfortable and so stuffed. I felt more stuffed than the turkey I just devoured, and making myself a promise that, okay, I'll just start over on Monday. And in that moment, I felt like such a failure. I felt like I couldn't stick with anything. But the truth is that I wasn't a failure. I was out of alignment with what I wanted. So here's the truth I want you to know. You don't lose progress because you're weak or because you're undisciplined. You lose progress because your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions stop pointing in the same direction. And that's what alignment really is. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions line up, things feel lighter. You feel more calm, confident, and steady. And when they don't line up, well, everything feels forced, heavy, and tired. It's exhausting. So you can think of alignment like a compass. You can wander off the trail, take a detour, and even lose sight of where you're going. But no matter what, your compass is always pointing north. Your compass doesn't judge you when you veer off course. It quietly points you back in the direction you want to go. So your goals, feeling strong, feeling energized, feeling confident in your body, that's your true north. Every small intentional choice that you make that points you back in that direction, Well, that's alignment. So even when you drift, and I promise it's okay to drift, we don't have to be perfect to get to where we want to be. You can always come back, one choice at a time. But how do you actually do that in real life? Well, that's what we're going to talk about now. Today, I'm going to teach you 3 practical ways to come back into alignment, especially when life gets messy or the holidays throw you off track. These aren't rules and they're certainly not restrictions. They're realignment practices that make consistency feel natural, not forced. So, number 1 is to create a morning micro alignment. I'm a big fan of morning routines, and I'm not talking about elaborate, time consuming, complex morning routines. I'm talking about simple things that you can do amidst your probably hectic morning that just take a second, but make sure you start your day pointed in that right direction. So even if everything else goes off track, you started your day on the right note. And that can make a huge difference in getting to where you want to be. When you start your day with that one small act that connects the you right now to the woman that you're becoming, you set your compass in the right direction right from the start. So this can be a lot of different things. So maybe that's a high protein breakfast where you're getting at least 40 grams of protein first thing in the morning. Maybe it's simply a 10-minute walk, or even just simply taking a moment or two to take a breath and set an intention for the day before you pick up your phone. So this doesn't have to be about structure and rigid routines. This is about direction. With simple small actions like this, where you're setting your intentions and you're working on consistently showing up as the woman that you choose to be, you're literally teaching yourself that you are someone that follows through. When you start to embed this thought in your subconscious mind that you are somebody that follows through on your goals and your intentions, well, that can be transformational. That can be the difference between someone who finds consistency a struggle and somebody that learns how to do it for the long term. When you teach yourself that you are actually a woman who follows through on what you intended, well, that changes your belief system. And when you start to change who you believe you are, well, then everything changes. Number 2 is to pre-decide from your future self. So the truth is that in moments of stress, when things are hectic and chaotic, 99% of the time when this happens, we don't rise to our goals. Instead, we fall into our patterns, into what is familiar and comfortable and expected. So before life gets too loud and things get too chaotic, pre-decide who you're going to be. Who do you want to show up as? So when you know a trigger is coming, a holiday, a family gathering, a vacation, or whatever it is, ask yourself, what would my future self choose here? Maybe she enjoys the dessert that she truly loves and skips those ones that she doesn't even really like that much. Maybe the next day she gets up and moves her body instead of spiraling and letting things continue for days on end. That's not restriction, that's alignment. Alignment with who you're learning to become. With that powerful choice, you're deciding from intention, not emotion, and that changes everything. And number 3 is to practice the 3-minute alignment. So remember, you don't fall off track when this stuff happens. You drift. And the faster you can return to where you want to be, the less damage is going to happen. So when you catch yourself out of alignment, maybe you've overeaten, maybe you skipped a workout or two, or maybe you just feel off and you don't really feel like doing whatever it is that you know you need to be doing. I want you to simply take 3 minutes. Give yourself a chance to breathe intentionally and ask yourself, what do I need to come back into alignment? And then do one simple action. Drink a glass of water, go for a little walk, write something in a journal, or decide on a reset meal. You don't need to restart, you just need to return. So As we start moving into the holiday season, Halloween, Thanksgiving, the holidays, New Year's, Valentine's, we have a lot of things that come up over the next several months that can easily derail us. I want you to remember this. Staying aligned does not mean saying no to joy. It means saying yes to who you're becoming. You can enjoy the food, you can enjoy the memories, you can enjoy the connections, and you can still stay in alignment with your goals. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep on coming back to this. So if this clicked for you and you're ready to align your habits with your hormones and your health, download my free Midlife Metabolism Jumpstart Guide. I'll link it below, that shows you how to get started rebuilding your metabolism, your energy, and your mindset from alignment, not restriction. And I'd really love to know, what's one little thing that helps you feel aligned with your goals when things get hectic? Drop it in the comments, because your answer might spark inspiration in another woman that's looking to stay on track. Remember that staying in alignment with your goals isn't about control or perfection. It's about connection, connection to your goals, your body, and the woman that you're becoming. And in each moment, you have the power, you have the choice to come back. You don't need a restart. You just need a return. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.